Hello everybody, it's 6 o'clock in the evening and yep, I've come to bed because I was up at 4 and went flat on the floor again. Whoops. So I've been told each time I have a trip like that, a fall like that, to get myself to the A&E, and that's what I did with my son. My son rang my son because he gets into work at 5:30 anyway, so I rang and said, and he kindly came and got me to the hospital. Well, it's sort of been a 12-hour day almost, and a little bit of excitement there, sitting in the waiting room, and couldn't really hear what was going on. We were all sitting there with masks, with our 3 feet apart business, and couldn't really see what was going on and behind me, and I didn't want to turn around, but there was a bit of a to-do, like people having a disagreement. And the next thing I know, it's the F and the C word, and oh my goodness. And, well, everybody turned around then. Like the British, stiff British upper lip, and you don't take any notice of what's going on with other people. You tend not to when you're there, if they're having a to-do or having a bit of a thing, a bit of an argument, you just let them to it and ignore. But this was really, on the nose, literally. And as I turned round, and all of a sudden this man went towards this other man, and he pulled his fist back, right back, and bump, straight on the nose. It's actually made me, it's actually sickened me to see that level of violence. And so security, one of the nurses shouted, get security. So these security men came running in. I've never seen anything like it, and particularly in a hospital. These two big burly security men, all dressed in black. It was appropriate, sort of like the guards came in, and they were, I don't know, I mean, they looked to be about 7 feet tall and about 300 pounds. They're really big blokes. And they came in and took whoever it was outside, and I don't know, must have given them a talking to. Anyway, they came back in, or one of them came back in, and the nurse called him in to be seen to straight away, let's get him in and get him out. And as he walked past me, because I was in the front line there, and he was walking past me, and as he was walking past me, he was saying to the nurse, he effing this, and I did that. No, I never said, he was an effing this. Sorry for my language, nurse. And he kept going on and going on. I thought, oh my goodness. So they got him in, and they got him out within, I don't know, half an hour maximum. And he was off, he was gone. I wasn't so lucky. So I'm not going to bore you with all of it, but I saw a doctor. First of all, I saw a triage nurse, and a big burly man again. And he's got one of these loud voices, and he's very clipped and shouty. And I said, please don't shout at me. And he said, I'm not shouting. And he was. He was just that way, it was just his voice. But my head was going bumpty bump. And after that, he was very nice, and it was all mammies. And then I was called in to see the doctor. I saw the doctor and a medical student, and they were lovely. Had x-rays. There's something else going on in the middle of my spine now. Really hurt me when he pressed on it. So I don't know whether that's something new. He said, there's something else going on there, but, he needs an x-ray. And they didn't x-ray my hips, even though I said, I felt I was being pulled down from my hips and my pelvis. He was just interested in my spine. So it was only the spine that got x-rayed. And I don't know what was wrong with me, because loopity loo, it completely went. Why didn't I say I need an x-ray of my hips, of my pelvis? Why didn't I? And so anyway, they x-rayed my spine. Nothing there that is new, apart from a bit of movement where, I don't know, he did say the number of the vertebrae, I don't know. And basically the upshot of it is that unless and until something else breaks or is moved out of its socket, then they're not going to do anything for me, surgery-wise. But when they didn't get my, as far as I know, my history up on the screen, because if they had, they would have seen that when I was last at the hospital, I was told that my right, is it my right hip? Which one is it? Yeah, my right hip, because it was the left I had the revision surgery on, that my right hip had, there was movement there, that the ball had sort of come out, so partly, so they'd have seen that. But unless there's, I was told, unless there's a big fracture or something broken that is causing me to be immobile, basically, they're not going to do anything apart from physio. Physio came to see me with another doctor and another student. I was really getting the treatment, and they were lovely, and they got me crying, and I hate crying in public, but they had me crying, and you know, wanted to know how my life had been impacted by everything. I don't know whether the doctor was actually, I don't know, the doctor of what, I don't know. Orthopedics. But, you know, I said for the last 9 months, since last June, since I had that bad fall, when my pubic bone was fractured, and there was something else going on in the back, but they didn't do anything with that. And they didn't do anything with the pubic bone because they couldn't, because of how it was, you know, they just can't, they can't operate there. So I just had to wait for that to heal. And I was 2 weeks in the rehab centre, and they asked me how I found the rehab centre, and I said nurses were fabulous, they were really good there. I didn't get much physio. I saw the physiotherapist, I think, 3 times in the 2 weeks I was there. And one of them was on discharge day. So they were talking to me and asking me, you know, how it impacted my life. And I said that, you know, my life has been badly impacted. I don't get out unless somebody takes me. I've got no autonomy at all now, really. And the doctor said to the physio, can we get her a scooter? And I thought, God, you know, blimey, would they do that? And she said, no, we can't do that. But one of the walkers with wheels, they could get me one of those. I said, I don't want one. You know, I said, I just want to be able to walk. You know, what will make me walk again properly? And so, well, we can get you some intensive physio. We can have the physiotherapist coming into you. And they gave me some exercises to do on the bed. And then they were asking, you know, how I felt in general. And she said that your mood seems pretty low. And I suppose I just welled up. And I just started to cry. Not loudly, I just quietly wept. And so I told them about Alf dying. And, you know, other things that were going on. and not being able to get out, and the fall in June that maybe not be able to do anything at all really, and so it's given me all this time to think and brood and berate myself and hate myself. And then she said, have you ever had any thoughts of hurting yourself? And I must have took a little time to answer that, and I said, you know, I wouldn't do anything like that. I wouldn't hurt my kids that way. But I have thought, why am I here? And Alf isn't. It doesn't seem right. And of course I was just broken then. And so they wanted me to see their psychiatric team, and somebody was going to come from the psychiatric team to see me and to assess me and to see what they could give me to help me. But by that time I'd been there for 9 hours, 8 hours, and I just said, my son's going to pick me up, he's waiting for me to ring him, it's eaten up his day, and I just want to go home. And I said, I'll wait, because they took my blood from my arm, whatever that was for, and then the 3 little bottles that they took. And I said, I'll wait, but another half an hour, but I really want to go then. So there was nothing to stop me. They said, okay. So my son texted to say, what's going on? And I said, look, and he was only up the road then, because he was doing some of his own shopping. So I said, well, just come pick me up, and I'll come out when you get here. So that's what I did, and I didn't see the mental health team at all, but no doubt they'll be following up on that. The one thing I noticed when they did my blood pressure, it's usually low, and it was low this time, and it was 100/60, and I think that's quite low, isn't it? And she got me to, let's do it again, let's get you standing up and do it again. So did it again, and it was a little bit higher, but not by much. So my blood pressure is very low. So that's about it in a nutshell. That was my day. Until I break something, they're not going to do anything. They think my medication needs to be tweaked so that it's more, more helpful to me, more effective. And they think I need some intensive physio, which they're going to arrange for me. They also suggested that I have somebody come in every day, a carer, to do my meals and that, just until I, everything's sorted out and the medication's working and I'm feeling that, I can manage more. But I don't want that. I want to be able to walk. I want to be able to get up and walk out my front door and walk down the road without worrying about having to fall over, without having to hold onto the walls as I'm going, like I'm a bloody spider. And until I break something or something's displaced, they're not going to do anything. But this one hip is displaced, and why I didn't say, please x-ray my hips as well. I think when you go anywhere like that, you tend to think, or I do, that's what needs to be done. They're just going to organise to be done, and you're just there. You're just there as the patient. I went 7 hours without a drink, without even a drink of water. You can tell how people become dehydrated in hospitals and in nursing homes, and twice I asked for a drink. We'll get you one, and nobody did. They were busy there, they were busy, so I'll give them that, and I don't fault them, they were all very nice. But until something breaks, nothing's going to happen. Until it actually is a big break, nothing's going to happen. And it's going to be like last time when I had to have the hip revision surgery. I was walking from my kitchen into my hallway, and I heard, and I think I've said this on a video before, I heard an almighty crack, and it was just like a whip crack or like a gunshot. And I heard it. That was my bone breaking. That was a bone breaking, because then I couldn't move. I couldn't walk another step. I was swiveling around on my feet like this to get into my living room. And we got the ambulance out, and I knew, that something had broken, and I was in pain. Got to the hospital, they did the x-rays, like they did the x-rays today, couldn't find anything, nothing, and I was told, you're probably just bruised. No, I wasn't, because I didn't fall. There was no reason why I should be bruised. And I heard something break. I heard it break, and then I couldn't move, and they kept trying to convince me that I was bruised. Anyway, because I couldn't walk, they kept me, and they decided that they would go in and do this hip revision, have a look. But, they couldn't see anything on the x-ray. They were going in as though there was nothing wrong. And then they found it. What that bone was hiding behind, I don't know, but they found it and had to repair it. And I had to have hip revision surgery. And I was told, when I was electing to go for hip revision surgery anyway on the one hip, because it didn't seem as though it was working correctly, I was told it was going to take a lot longer to heal than a normal hip revision. And my goodness, it did. It took a long time to heal. And before I could walk straight again, you can, the sort of 6 to 8 weeks for the hip revision, for the normal hip surgery. And I healed quite quickly, because I did my physio very thoroughly every day, and I wanted to heal quickly, and I did. But this hip revision, it took me months to heal from that. Anyway, so that's been my day. So I've got my little Ujimi bar going with some lemon verbena, and I've got my little lamps on, and I'm going to sit back and relax my poor old back, which is kidding me, the part that they did an x-ray, and have a tangerine, a satsuma, and my cup of tea, and listen to an audio book. I will be back tomorrow sometime. YouTube is sort of keeping me going. I tell you, it's a godsend to me. And I know that I do reviews, and I know that a lot of people don't like it when I do these reactions to people. But if I'm struck by something and it jumps out at me, and I feel that I want to react, then I will. And I am straightforward, and I am sharp-tongued at times, and I am forthright, but I hope that I'm also truthful and not too unkind. And I think I probably need to watch it a little bit with how sharp I am, because when watching myself back, which I don't always do, but sometimes I do, and watching myself back, and I'm thinking, oh, you came across as really quite horrible, But it wasn't meant in that way to be horrible. It's when you're frustrated at something that's going on, or it's when, as with the begging, as anybody will tell you, and I think Celeste has come out and told you what went on with her mum and how I got involved there. I cannot bear people being ripped off for money. I just have a deep abhorrence for it. I don't like it, and I'll call people out on it every time. Right, well, I'm going to go and have my cuppa, and I'll speak to you all tomorrow, if not before. We'll see. Okay, bye-bye. Have a good night, everybody. God bless.